Hey guys, so I just thought I'd make this video just to kind of get the ball rolling on maybe a conversation about how to use interactive brokers. Tell you the truth, I'm new to Option Alpha and still trying to find my way through this thing. I feel like I've learned a few things though, so maybe like people who are just getting into it can not make the same mistakes that I did. And the other thing I'm kind of hoping that maybe a few of you veterans might be able to see what I'm doing and maybe point me in a different direction if I'm doing something kind of stupid. All right, so this is how I've got my homepage set up. If you're brand new, the way that this works is you can unlock the template. So if you unlock it, then you can kind of just move these tabs around. You can find new, like a whole bunch of different tabs along the side here. If you're using interactive brokers, though, I'm sure you probably know that. All right, so the way I trade options is, I don't know, let's say like I'm thinking about a trade in the queues, um, perhaps, let's say. So if you right click on it, and you can go to trading tools and then option chain. I had the option chain set up in a different tab, so it was just there all the time. But with the market data, you have to subscribe to the market data with interactive brokers. And I kept on going over my limit because it was finding all the, like it said, I had over 115 instruments. So it was because it was all running in the option chain all the time. I think that's why it was giving me that message. So I just bring it up whenever I need it now. So here's my option chain. Whenever it comes up here. All right. So yours might look a little different. You can change the colors and that type of thing. If you go to the wrench up here, you can change a few little things here and there. So what you can do is if you click on Strategy Builder, it brings up this window. There's a couple ways you can do it. I actually just click them and find like one at a time to build my strategy, but you can do the drop down menu and actually find a Iron Condor or Straddle or whatever it might be. So let's say if I did that, if I went to Iron Condor, it actually kind of shows you the right pattern when you bring it up here. And then if just by like scrolling on your mouse and stuff, you can change like the width. I haven't played around with it that much though. I'm not sure exactly how to get it to move the way I want it to. So like I said, what I do is actually just choose them one at a time. So let's say if I was going to do an Iron Condor here, what I would do is I would scroll down and find, maybe like the 15 delta on each side, but these are all kind of messed up right now because I think market just opened. But what I would do, let's say if I wanted to have this be my inside or one of my cells here, I'd click on here. I'd click on maybe, if I wanted to have like a $1 wide Iron Condor, I'd click down here and it's starting to populate here, right? So right now I've just got a call bear spread, and then I can go to the other side here, right? So let's say I find this would be a terrible one, just for oh, that's why, it's because I'm in the wrong tab up here. Maybe I should back up a little bit. I'm gonna clear all legs. I'm gonna go to a month that makes sense. So let's go to the May expiration. All right, so now if I scroll down, these deltas make a bit more sense. So I'd scroll down to maybe like, I'd look for my volume, and I don't know, maybe this one, and maybe do, now let's say if I was just doing like a $1 wide Iron Condor, so I'd start with those legs, and then go up. I'd find my 15 delta on the other side or around that, right? Kind of looking at volume or whatever else I'm looking at. Maybe, yeah, make it $1 wide again on this side. And then that's pretty much it. So it's populated an Iron Condor. Sometimes, I don't know why, I haven't been able to figure it out. When you put an Iron Condor in, sometimes it'll look nice like this, like it's supposed to. Sometimes it'll just kind of like put it in there different. So I don't really know the reason why. Yeah, so what you can do here to make sure, if you go to you can see a little payoff diagram there too to make sure that you've actually got an Iron Condor. And if you want to just make sure, because It's been funny sometimes. Every once in a while, something weird. Like it came in one time, like it wanted me to pay. Like I wasn't receiving a. I wouldn't be actually receiving any premium. I'd be paying to get into it. So like I still don't really know what happened there. So you can bring up your payoff diagram and you can see that this doesn't look right, right? Well, that's because it's for today right now. So what you need to do pretty much every time if you want to see for the May expiration is scroll all the way down, and then it looks like this, right? So now you can see your payoff diagram. So I'd have, you know, $80 maximum loss. I'd have $20 potential gain there. It shows you your profit probability on the side here. This one shows you the max return. So that's the you know, so if I was actually up here, I don't know why it's a little different than what it actually shows on this one. And it says 71% chance. So it's just slightly different because this is for the max return. This is like the percentage that it's actually going to be at the top here, right? Max loss, so 24%, yada, yada, yada. Tells you the commissions and your break evens on this side. I'd almost kind of take note of this right now because there's probably an easy way to find these numbers after you actually have the position, but I can't really find it on TWS. It's really easy on your mobile; it'll actually show you, but I can't find your break evens on TWS after. So maybe write those down, or just kind of, I don't know, you figure it out using the math or whatever. All right. So that's that. So then, you know, you've got your bid and ask. So then you could submit the order there. Yeah, just really make sure that this is a negative when it goes in there. Because like I said, every once in a while, Interactive Brokers does something kind of weird where it'll put in like a positive number or a number that makes no sense. So that could really get you in trouble. I just saw like on the forum there that someone was saying that happened to them actually, and they got into a really weird position. So anything else I should talk about? I think that's pretty much it for this window. I actually do like the way that you can set up your trades using this. So I'm just going to clear these and then go to, I just want to kind of talk about some other kind of weird quirks that I've kind of found using this. So let's say, first thing, you kind of have to set up your portfolio window. So if you open up a monitor tab, then you can see that you can open up a couple things. You can have a portfolio. That's where your watch list and stuff is too, and a few things. But if you open up your portfolio, yours will look a little different than this. But if you, again, go to the little wrench and go to the settings, what you can do is decide what you want for your columns. So there's a bit of messing around in here. You can find all kinds of things that probably don't really help much at all. Yeah, so I spent a lot of time trying to figure out which columns would be the best for me. And the other thing is the names are a bit different. This took me kind of a little bit to figure out. Just even, you know, theirs is average price, and that's the average price that I paid, right? You guys probably all know this, but that's a little bit different. Watching like Kirk's videos, it's different on his end, right? I forget what it's called in Thinkorswim, but and then market price. I'm pretty sure this is how they end up getting the unrealized. I could be wrong on that. So if you want to like tell me what they actually do, like the difference between those to find the unrealized, that would help me out. What else here? Oh yeah, I've got one for underlying, but that actually doesn't show the underlying unless you drop. No, actually, it's kind of being weird right now. Anyways, not showing me those anyway. But all right, doesn't really matter anyway. So the other thing I just want to kind of tell you that kind of messed me up. Let's say that I went to this this bull put, right, that like they have right now, and I paid, you know, $50 in premium here, and then I'm gonna right click, and then you're like, okay, perfect, I got analyzing tools, and you go performance profile, and then this kind of messed me up. So again, it's showing me the wrong date. So this is for June, so I'm gonna scroll this down to the June expiration all the way, and it kind of shows me what looks like my profit diagram here, but it's showing me that I have a potential 62 max profit, and my numbers are just off. Like they're just all off a bit, right? Like why it looked right when I went into the trade, but now it doesn't. And what I figured out is, and again, you guys probably all knew this, or some people did. This isn't the performance graph of my actual position of like what I paid and everything else. This is the performance profile as if I were to buy this today. So this is if I was to buy this option today. That's what my max profit would be. That's what my max loss would be. So the only thing I really use this for is for to look at my profit probability, because that's still, I think that's still going to be useful, because that's going to tell me whether I'm going to be a winner or not. But you can't really look at these numbers anymore because they don't really make sense with my data, right? So yeah, don't make that mistake. What else here? So I guess while I'm on that note of trying to figure out your positions and how they actually look, you pretty much have to do the risk, or do a risk navigator. So I'll show you like the beta weighting and stuff too, like while we're doing it. So if you go new window and scroll all the way down to risk navigator, and then my portfolio. So if you go and go into there, I have it set up as a tab, so I just made a new tab and then just like locked it into here. It's looking kind of funny, like it's not snapping right. Something's weird with my computer right now. I don't want to touch it because it got all messed up last time. But anyway, so what you can see here is like all your positions, right? It'll tell you your VAR and everything else for these things. If you go down to metrics and then beta risk, and then just make sure that weighted beta is clicked. Now what you can do, like once you got to that point here, this is driving me nuts, I gotta see if this will work. Scroll it up. Last time I did this, it just like closed everything out of my... That's the other thing, it's kind of finicky, like every once in a while like weird things happen, but okay, that worked. Alright, so now if I just want to scroll this up so I can see it a bit more. Once you're here, then you can see your positions, right? You can see what's actually going to happen. So what I'm going to plot here, you can plot different things. So equity portfolio value, or equity unrealized. I kind of like looking at the equity unrealized profit diagram there. But then what you need, so right now I have all underlyings. And then what you want to do is choose either your total or like all the ones that expire at these dates, right? So I'm going to choose all the different instruments that expire, let's say for this contract or or all of them. Okay, and then I'm just going to pick a date for when we're looking at this, right? So let's say I'm looking at the April contracts there, right? So whoop, that looks weird. Okay, so I had to mess around with that a bit. Sorry, I just paused it there. Like I said, Interactive Brokers does some weird things. Yeah, so this is the way it would look like if I have my... so my last trading day, I chose these ones. And then for what I'm actually seeing, I chose that again, right? So these are all my positions that expire in April. I stupidly, you guys are probably noticing this, I accidentally bought, for I think it was like $5 or something, an extra, like I said, I'm new, an extra position. So this is the way it looks this way. It's just not even worth me getting rid of it for the commissions. So yeah, that's why that looks so stupid. So it's a little helpful if you zoom in though, so you can like see a little bit better here what you've got going on. The other thing, if right now, so this is reference to the like SPX, and it just shows you the change this way, and this is where the market currently is, right? Yes, there's some kind of, yeah, never mind. So I kind of got lost there. So the other way of using this thing though that I find helpful is, so I'm going to change, instead of all my underlyings, let's say just my Qs or something like that, right? So I'm zoomed in a bit too far apparently now. So if I zoom out, so this is what my profit window would look like for all of my Qs. So even if I had multiple positions with the Qs, right? Like if I had like 2 iron butterflies, if I was laddering or something, this will show the combination of all of them. So it's helpful to see where my profit window would be for the Qs, right? Looking at it this way. So I've got this set up, and it's kind of a, the programming for this Risk Navigator is pretty old and doesn't look near as nice as like Thinkorswim or anything. But you can't really see the numbers here very well. But if you go to View and then grab Vertical Crosshair, then what I find helpful is it'll give you the numbers that'll pop up there, right? So it'll show you if I'm like hovered over this spot that it shows me the date scenario. I'd have $97 there, right? So I'd make $97 in that position. And it shows you the underlying price there at the bottom too, right? So that's like the window where I'm going to be making profit. So this is really the only place to do this. I'd like to do it like on the on my home screen, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So what else in here? I'm just telling you the truth, I'm really new to Risk Navigator. I just kind of figured this all out. So if any of you veterans could help me out with anything I'm doing wrong here, I'd appreciate that. All right, so I think what else? So I guess just lastly, I'll kind of talk about maybe the charts if people are having trouble with charts. So let's say I went to Google here and opened it up. So yeah, here's how the charts work. So I'm gonna just get this MACD off of there. Okay, so yours won't look like this to begin with. What'll happen is your bars will actually be like all the way to the end. So if you want to change like your window of what you're actually looking at, it's these bars down at the bottom. So if I grab this bar here, what's going to happen is it'll just take me way out, right? Or take me way in. If you grab this bar, it's going to take me like to the left there. So yeah, so all the way that way. And then the one that's helpful, this little one right here, this will actually move and give you some space here. So if you're trying to like, think of where your expiration is or that type of thing, yeah, that's how you're gonna look at that. So so you can move this back and forth that way. Okay, so you can probably see this position isn't very good for me right now, but I kind of panicked and had to adjust with Google there, just like I said, because I'm still new. All right, so the way that you get some of these things though, so these different lines, if you go edit, you can make horizontal lines or vertical lines. So what I do is I make some vertical lines for my profit window for Google there, and then the vertical line is my expiration for this one, right? And then some other things here are going to be under your chart parameters. So if you go into here, you can choose your time, so whether you're looking at like 1 year, and I usually do 1 year like daily candles to kind of start and then kind of adjust with the things there. A couple other things in here that are useful though. You can have option volume show up at the bottom there. You can have your option implied volatility show up, and you can have your historical volatility show up. So if you so you can have those show up. The other one I have clicked right now with that blue standard deviation that I've got going on there, that's right here. So if you click this off, you can change it from 1 standard deviation, 2, or 3. So there's 1 standard deviation. I just find that helpful to kind of give me an idea of chances of winning there. Okay, so if I go apply here, you'll see that you get the historical and the implied volatility graph showing, or so here's my implied volatility and historical volatility. I think this is the best we can do with interactive brokers, because we can't do IV rank or IV percentile like the Thinkorswim people. So what I do is I go back and forth between here and the Option Alpha website to kind of just look at when implied volatility is high and that type of thing, but then kind of use just the implied volatility as a gauge once I kind of know, because you can see like when it's dropping, right? So that's kind of what I do. Yeah, there's probably more, but I don't really know what else. So that's probably a good place to start. Like if people have any questions or like I said, comments on things I'm doing wrong, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I'll leave it there.